Kerman is a rock star and a tryhard.
What's your definition of a tryhard?
Ooh, someone who earnestly and enthusiastically goes after the thing they're curious about and isn't afraid to look a little foolish sometimes.
Tryhard, Creative Work in Progress is Max's debut memoir, set to hit bookstores on April 22nd.
Over the years, people have asked, are you going to write a book? And I've had no interest in it. And I said, I'm not interested in rock and roll autobiographies. Like, I don't like those kind of books. I don't read those kinds of books personally. But I do like talking about what it means to be part of a group, what it means to move a project a little bit down the road.
It's a millennial manifesto that is part memoir and part how-to guide for creatives.
I want the book to feel like it's a conversation I'm having with anybody who's ever wondered what it's like to be in a band.
He's never self-indulgent when talking about the success of Arkells, but rather uses it as a launching pad for lessons on cultivating creativity, banishing boredom, and aiming for greatness without sacrificing kindness.
You're used to storytelling through song. How does the creative process compare between one versus the other?
I never thought I had the attention span to write a book. I'm usually a short spurt kind of person. You know, like, if I have a melody, I hum it into my iPhone. If somebody says something clever and I go, that's a good lyric, I just write it down on my notes. And writing a book is sort of the opposite of that. You have to really sit down for a few hours every day and get words on the page.
Max swapped out the studio for Morning Parade Coffee Bar near Trinity Bellwoods.
What was it about this space that was sort of got your creative juices going?
Well, in the winter, it's a very warm and comforting place. The staff is exceptional. I get the physical Globe and Mail newspaper, and I read that for, I don't know, half an hour. And then I get my laptop out, and I try to get to 2,000 words. And then I call our manager, Ashley, and I say, Ash, let's go for a walk. And then we go across to the park, and I just read her what I've written. And she laughs at certain parts. She remembers things that I've forgotten in the story. And then also, as I read it out loud, I can hear the parts that aren't working. And that's how I wrote the book.
Although the term tryhard is often used as an insult, Max believes that being one is essential for anyone living life.
Reading the book, it's fascinating to see how the band formed, that you were very intentional from the get-go in terms of finding the right people that could make it all work. How do you balance that practicality with the passion that you bring on stage?
You have to find ways to keep the spark alive. You know, that's in any friendship, relationship, in your work, evolving and being curious about new ways to work.
In the book, you talk about creativity being a two-part equation. You find an idea that moves you, and then you move forward with it. What are you moving forward to after this?
Arkells are working on our next record, and we're knee-deep in that. And from there, we're thinking about, how do we tour it in an interesting way. We have our big show in Hamilton, June 21st, the rally. We're going to be playing the Calgary Stampede. We have some shows overseas. So the band is good and busy. But I don't know, I'm just having conversations with people who have creative ideas and seeing if I can slot my way in some way.
Liem Vu, Global News.